Hello everybody, here is your Cisco CCNA tip for the day. We are going to show you how to hack through your running configuration of your iOS device so you can parse through and get the information you're looking for quickly without having to spacebar, enter, key, all the way, carriage return I guess, all the way through your running configuration to find the one line you're looking for. So to start with, where do we keep this stuff? If you have an iOS device, then iOS devices store their startup configuration in the NVRAM, and you're going to find that when the router boots, it's going to copy that startup configuration into the running configuration, which exists in the system directory. So let's first start by taking a look at where these files are kept in the iOS device. We are on a router called CCNA tips. I believe this is a 3700. Let's go ahead and enable, get ourselves into privileged exec mode. Let's show our version currently. We are running a 3700, 3725, running 12.4.15 So at a minimum, if you want to try these commands on your devices and it doesn't look like you have the same feature set because you're not able to utilize the same keywords or special characters. It may be that your version is different than mine. You might have an earlier version. Anything beyond the 12.4 definitely will, or anything at this current rev or beyond will have these features available to you. So where are these items kept? Like we said in the previous slide, our NVRAM is going to hold our startup configuration, and our system directory is where that startup configuration gets copied into the running configuration when you boot up the device. So let's take a look at that. We'll do the command is dir, short for directory, nvram : Inside of here we can see we have a startup config, a private config, persistent data, and an interface index table. Startup config is what we're looking for here. We keep it in the NVRAM directory. If we were to issue, well, let's go ahead and see where the running config is first. It might be a misnomer that it's actually kept in the flash directory. If you take a look at the flash directory, there's nothing there. Generally, when it comes to flash directory, what you're going to be finding in there is your iOS or your actual software that runs the device, the iOS device. Like I said earlier, if you were to look in the system directory, this is where you're going to find your running configuration. So running configuration is kept in the system directory, startup configuration, or when you write or save your existing running configuration, it gets copied into your startup config, which is found in our NVRAM. To actually view this, you can issue the command show. I am in privileged exec mode here. If we were in user exec mode, so if we disable, we are now in user exec mode. If we were to issue the command show running config, we're unable to issue that command. It's because our show output is going to be limited. You can see the show running is not an option here in user exec mode. So you have to be enabled or in privileged exec mode, to view the running configuration. So the command is show running. I'm having a tough time with a dangling N there. Show running config, and we can actually see the configuration we have running on our device, and we can also take a look at what's in our NVRAM and look at the show startup configuration to get a view show startup config to show us what, if we were to reboot the router, what would be loaded onto the configuration. So how do we actually hack our way through this? Parse through the information so that we can get relevant content immediately, so we can save our time in our operational environment and get the answers we need as quickly as possible. Well, there are a few tools we can use. There are tools that allow us to view interfaces as they're configured in our running configuration. We can parse through and view just sections of our configuration. So if you want to see just the router configuration, or you just want to see a particular access list as it looks inside a running configuration, there's ways to do that. We do that with special characters like the pipe or the /, and we use it in conjunction with the include, the exclude, or the section statements to get exactly the information we're looking at. So let's show you how to do that, so that you can actually start rolling this out into your everyday work environment. Finally, let's take a look at how we can parse through this, sort of hack through this, and get some relevant information out of it without actually having to issue the command show run and spacebar until we find the one line in the console that we're looking for. Right? We could instead issue the show run command and use this pipe character here and utilize the keyword include and type in the string that we're looking for. The string that we're looking for in this case is linecon 0. So we can include linecon 0, and we could see that yes, that command, that line does exist within the running configuration. If we wanted to see linecon 0 and everything after it, we would issue the command pipe2b, which is short for begin. And we can see that we're going to get everything that's in the running configuration starting at the linecon 0 line and to the end. And you can see that it's linecon 0, lineaux 0, line vty 0 through 4, and a couple of comment, and then the end statement. There are a few other tools that we can use in here. We have interfaces configured on this device. Let's take a look at what interfaces we have configured here. If we issue the command show IP interface brief, we can see that we have fast Ethernet 0/0 configured on here. If we wanted to see what that looked like in running config, we could issue the command show run interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and it goes through the running configuration and gives us only the fast Ethernet 0/0 component of that configuration rather than the whole configuration itself. Now let's say we don't issue the show run interface command. Instead we issue the show run and realize, you know what, we just need to see fast Ethernet 0/0. You could issue, while you're parsing through the running config here, issue the / and type in the string that you want to match in the running configuration, and it's going to move to that point in the running configuration. So see, we skipped from the first stanza down to the interface configuration there. So a nice quick string matching tool that you can use within the running config output. Another nifty tool is, let's say you want to just see the configurations for an entire section of the configuration. So you could do show run pipe2 S or section, and we can do the same thing, fast Ethernet 0/0, and it's going to give us fast Ethernet 0/0 configuration. Or what I use this most often for is looking at router configuration. So I want to see the entire router OSPF configuration. We can see that router OSPF is configured with the router ID 1.1.1.1, and that we have area 0 authenticated, area 100 is stubbed out, and we have a network statement matching 192.168.0/0/24, 0.0/24 interfaces, which we know by looking at the show IP/INT brief output we have no interfaces in. So just a quick way of validating what's configured on your running configuration.